Hey Reddit, long-time lurker here. I, 29F, never thought I'd be making my first post about something like this. Everything I believed about my marriage just shattered last week, and I need to get this off my chest. I married my husband Sam, 29M, last year after dating for 5 years. We met at my best friend Sarah's, 28F, housewarming party back in 2017. I remember thinking how handsome he looked in his blue button-down shirt, making everyone laugh with his witty jokes. He worked in finance, had his life together, and seemed like the perfect catch. Sarah pulled me aside that night and warned me about Sam. She'd heard through mutual friends that he had a reputation as a player, constantly juggling multiple women. But when I looked at him, all I saw was this charming, successful guy who couldn't take his eyes off me. I brushed off Sarah's concerns, thinking she was being overprotective like always. Our courtship was like something out of a romance movie. He remembered every little detail about things I mentioned in passing. If I casually said I liked a certain book, he'd read it just so we could discuss it. He planned thoughtful dates, wrote me sweet notes, and always made time for me despite his demanding job. We both come from traditional Asian families where reputation means everything. My parents absolutely adored him. He spoke to them in our native language, participated in all our cultural events, and even learned to cook some traditional dishes from my mom. My dad, who's usually super critical of everyone I dated, called Sam the son he never had. After 5 years of what I thought was perfect dating, we had a beautiful traditional wedding last year. Both families got along great, we had similar goals about career and family, and everything just clicked. I honestly thought I'd hit the jackpot, a modern guy who still respected our cultural values. Everything was going perfectly until last week. My laptop needed repairs, so I was using Sam's to work from home. I needed to find a specific work document I'd emailed him earlier. While searching through his Google Drive, I accidentally clicked on a folder that changed everything. At first, I thought I was hallucinating. There were hundreds of screenshots from various dating apps, Tinder, Bumble, Seeking Arrangement, and some others I'd never even heard of. They were all neatly organized by date, spanning our entire relationship period. Each folder had a woman's name and what looked like some kind of rating system. My hands were shaking as I opened the files. There were explicit conversations, meetup arrangements, and even hotel receipts. Some conversations were with his exes, others with what appeared to be sex workers. He kept detailed records of everything, dates, amounts paid, even reviews of his experiences. Who does that? The worst part? These weren't just random hookups. He had ongoing arrangements with multiple women throughout our dating years. Some messages showed him promising these women he'd leave me for them. Others showed him bragging about how his naive girlfriend had no idea about his real life. When I confronted Sam, he tried everything to deny it. First, he claimed the screenshots were from before we started dating. When I pointed out the timestamps, he said his Google Drive must have been hacked. When I showed him his own messages and receipts, he finally changed tactics. He came up with this ridiculous excuse that he had forgotten about those years because he'd blocked them out after deciding to stop cheating. According to him, he had some kind of spiritual awakening right before proposing and decided to change his ways. He actually expected me to believe he just forgot years of methodically documented betrayal. Over the next few days, we had multiple conversations where more truth kept coming out. Each talk revealed new horrors. First, he admitted to just cybersex, claiming it wasn't real cheating. Then he confessed to hooking up with his exes, but swore it was only a few times. Finally, he admitted to regularly seeing sex workers, but insisted it was just physical and meant nothing. The most frustrating part is how he handles these conversations. Every time I try to discuss what I found, he shuts down after 15 to 20 minutes and walks away. He agreed to marriage counseling when I threatened to tell his parents, but his heart isn't in it. He keeps saying we should focus on our future instead of dwelling on the past. Sarah called me last night, crying. She admitted she'd heard more specific rumors about Sam's behavior years ago but couldn't prove anything. Apparently, he had a reputation at his workplace for juggling multiple women, but everyone thought he changed after meeting me. She feels guilty for not pushing harder with her warnings. I feel trapped. Divorce isn't just frowned upon in our culture, it's considered a massive shame that affects the entire extended family. My cousin got divorced 5 years ago, and some relatives still won't attend functions if she's there. I can't put my parents through that kind of social ostracism. But how do I move forward? Every memory from our dating years feels tainted now. All those times he was working late or had client meetings, was he with other women? Those business trips where he barely called, was he with his sugar babies? He even had dates with these women on my birthday, claiming he had to work. Right now, I'm just trying to keep it together at work while pretending everything's fine at home. My mother keeps asking when we're planning to start a family, and I want to scream every time. How do I tell her that her perfect son-in-law had a whole secret life? I need advice. Reddit. Has anyone dealt with something similar? How do you move forward when your entire relationship was built on lies? Is there any coming back from this level of betrayal? Or should I risk bringing shame to my family by leaving? Edit. Thank you for all the supportive comments. To those asking, yes, I've kept screenshots of everything I found. Something tells me I'm going to need them. Update 1. I'm back with an update, and honestly, I wish I didn't have a reason to post again. After my last post, many of you advised me to check Sam's recent activities instead of focusing on his past betrayals. You all warned me that cheaters rarely change, even when they claim to have forgotten their indiscretions. I wish I'd remained ignorant, but I needed to know the truth. After spending hours reading your comments suggesting ways to investigate, I decided to start with our phone records since we share a family plan. That's when I noticed something odd: regular calls to the same number every Thursday and Saturday evening during his supposed gym sessions. The calls always lasted around 2 hours, and looking back through the records, this pattern had been consistent for months. I spent 3 days debating whether to call that number. Finally, gathering all my courage, I used my work phone to make the call. A young woman answered with a breathy "Hey babe, calling from a new number?" My heart stopped, but I forced myself to keep talking. I pretended to be interested in her services, which she was surprisingly open about discussing. That's when she casually dropped the bomb: she'd been seeing Sam for the past 8 months, meaning well into our marriage. As she talked about their arrangement, I felt physically sick. She revealed they met through a sugar dating website, and he'd been paying her $500 weekly for their meetings. This money came from what he told me was his investment account for our future children's education. The woman, Emma, 25F, was completely unaware that Sam was married. He told her he was divorced and looking for a meaningful connection. She even sent me screenshots of their conversations where he complained about his controlling ex-wife, me, and how happy he was to find someone who understood him. When I confronted Sam with this information, something in him finally broke. Instead of his usual denials, he collapsed onto our couch and confessed everything. Those gym sessions? He was meeting Emma at a hotel near his office. But that wasn't even the worst part. Emma is pregnant. 3 months along. Sam claims he always used protection and thinks she's lying about the baby being his. But Emma forwarded me their WhatsApp conversations where he promised to leave me once she could prove the baby was his. He even sent her links to houses they could buy together and discussed baby names. With my world crumbling around me again, I finally called my parents. I couldn't hold it in anymore and told them everything: the cheating during our dating years, the sugar babies, and now Emma's pregnancy. That's when my mom revealed something that made me question everything. Apparently, 2 months before our wedding, Sam's ex-girlfriend Mia had reached out to them. She warned them about his chronic cheating, his sugar dating profiles, and his manipulation tactics. My parents, convinced that Mia was just jealous of our upcoming marriage, dismissed her warnings. They never told me because they thought it would ruin our relationship and bring shame to both families. The betrayal hit differently this time. My own parents kept this vital information from me. When I confronted them about their decision, my dad actually defended their choice. He said they wanted to protect my happiness and suggested that I should forgive Sam since men sometimes make mistakes and divorce would bring shame to our family name. Sarah has been my only support through this nightmare. She's letting me stay at her place while I figure things out. Meanwhile, Sam's behavior has become erratic. He alternates between sending heartfelt apology messages and angry texts accusing me of overreacting. He even sent his mother to talk to me. His mother's visit was the final straw. She sat in Sarah's living room and had the audacity to suggest that I should be understanding because at least Sam was discreet about his affairs. According to her, many men in our community have such arrangements, and good wives turn a blind eye to protect their family's reputation. I haven't responded to any of them. Despite my family's protests, I've started researching divorce lawyers. Emma contacts me daily with updates about her pregnancy. She offered to let me accompany her to her next doctor's appointment where they'll do a paternity test. Part of me wants to know the truth, but another part just wants to disappear and start fresh somewhere else. The most devastating revelation came yesterday. Several mutual friends knew about Emma. They'd seen Sam with her at restaurants and hotels but stayed quiet because they didn't want to get involved in someone else's marriage. One friend even admitted to helping Sam book hotels using his credit card to avoid any traces on our joint account. Every day brings new revelations of betrayal, not just from Sam but from our entire social circle. People I considered close friends knew about his double life but chose to stay silent. The same people who attended our wedding and wished us a lifetime of happiness knew he was living a lie. I'll update again after Emma's paternity test results come in. Right now, I'm just trying to process how many people were complicit in this deception. My trust isn't just broken with Sam, it's shattered with almost everyone in my life. Edit. Thank you for all the supportive messages. To those asking, yes, I've saved all the evidence including Emma's messages and the phone records. I have a feeling I'll need them soon. Update 2: the paternity test results arrived today. The baby is his. I should be devastated, but honestly, this feels like just another drop in an ocean of betrayal. Because what I discovered next makes the pregnancy seem almost minor in comparison. After my last update, I agreed to meet Emma at a local coffee shop. She seemed genuinely remorseful about her role in this mess and wanted to clear her conscience. What she revealed during our 3-hour conversation shattered what little remained of my world. Sam wasn't just casually using sugar dating websites, he was a verified member on multiple platforms, having spent over $100,000 in the last year alone. Emma showed me his profiles, all active and recently updated. He had a whole system, different phones for different women, scheduled meetups during his client meetings, and even a spreadsheet tracking his expenses and encounters. But here's the bombshell that broke me: Sam has a 2-year-old daughter. Yes, you read that right. He has a child with his college ex-girlfriend Lisa, 30F, who lives just 20 minutes from our house. This child was born during our dating period, and he's been secretly paying child support all this time. I found Lisa on Facebook and messaged her. She agreed to meet me at a park near her house. Her daughter was there, playing on the swings, and the resemblance to Sam was undeniable. Lisa apologized profusely, saying Sam had convinced her that I knew about his daughter and was okay with the arrangement. He told her we had an understanding and that I preferred not to be involved with the child. When I confronted Sam about this latest discovery, he finally cracked completely. The truth came pouring out like a broken dam. He has a separate phone, different social media accounts under a fake name, and even maintains a secret apartment downtown that he uses for his arrangements. The investment account I mentioned in my last post? It wasn't just for Emma, it was his fund for all his sugar babies. Sarah helped me track down 3 other women he's currently seeing. All of them thought he was either divorced or in an open marriage. 2 are expecting money he promised for their business ventures. 1 is a 22-year-old student who believes he's going to help her start a fashion line. My parents, who were still pushing for reconciliation after the Emma situation, finally changed their stance when they learned about his secret child. The existence of a 2-year-old grandchild they never knew about was apparently the final straw. They're now fully supporting my decision to divorce, especially after discovering he used our wedding gift money to fund his sugar baby lifestyle. I've hired a lawyer and moved out completely. I'm staying with Sarah until I can find my own place. Sam's still trying to fix things, now claiming he has a sex addiction and needs help. He even tried to guilt-trip me by saying his daughter needs a stable mother figure, and that I should consider staying to help raise both children. The audacity of this man never ceases to amaze me. Emma's decided to keep the baby and is taking Sam to court for child support. Lisa, after learning about his true financial situation, is also filing for increased support payments. My lawyer says his sugar baby expenses and secret apartment might actually help their cases. The shame and embarrassment I feared from our community? It's nothing compared to the relief of finally breaking free from his web of lies. Several aunties who initially criticized my decision to leave are now bringing their daughters to talk to me, using my story as a warning about thoroughly investigating potential partners. I'm taking it day by day. Some moments I feel strong and empowered, others I can barely get out of bed. But at least now I know the full truth. Or at least I hope this is all. With Sam, there seems to be no bottom to the well of deception. Edit. To those asking about legal action, yes, my lawyer is building a case using all the financial evidence of his secret life. Turns out hiding major assets and children during marriage isn't looked upon kindly by courts. Update 3. This will be my final update. The past 6 months have been a roller coaster, but I'm finally ready to close this chapter of my life and share how everything worked out. The divorce was finalized last week. Sam initially tried to contest it, claiming he'd changed and deserved another chance. But when my lawyer threatened to expose his sugar daddy profiles to his workplace, he quickly changed his tune. His company has a strict morality clause, and he couldn't risk losing his high-paying job with 2 child support payments pending. Emma had her baby, a girl. She's filing for full custody after Sam's behavior during her pregnancy. He missed most of her medical appointments, tried to deny paternity again despite the test results, and even suggested she should get an abortion at 7 months. His true colors really showed when she needed him most. Lisa also won her case for increased child support for their 2-year-old. The judge was particularly unimpressed when evidence emerged showing Sam had been hiding significant income through his secret accounts while claiming he couldn't afford higher payments. But here's where it gets even messier. 3 more women came forward after seeing my divorce filing in court records. Each had a similar story: met him on sugar dating sites, promised marriage, given money for fake emergencies. One of them turned out to be my friend's younger sister who I used to babysit. Finding out I knew one of his victims personally made everything feel even more twisted. My parents have completely transformed their views on divorce being shameful. After meeting Lisa and her daughter, their secret grandchild, my mom actually broke down and apologized for initially pressuring me to stay. She's now become my biggest supporter, even helping me apartment hunt and introducing me to potential matches from within our community. Sarah's cousin Jake, who works in real estate, helped me find a great apartment in a new city. I took a job offer there, better pay, fresh start, and far enough from Sam that I won't risk running into him or any of his women. The company even offered to let me work remotely for the first month while I settled in. The family shame I was so worried about? Most people in our community actually rallied around me after learning the truth. Sam's family is the one facing social ostracism now, especially since his sister found his profiles on those dating sites and shared them with relatives. Turns out our community is less forgiving of hidden children and sugar babies than they are of divorce. I still get occasional texts from Sam, usually when he's drunk. I've blocked him everywhere, but he keeps making new accounts. His latest message informed me he's engaged to someone new, a 24-year-old from his office. I sent her an anonymous email with proof of his past, but she replied saying she knows the real him and that people can change. History really does repeat itself. My life isn't perfect now, but it's peaceful. I'm dating again, actually seeing Sarah's cousin Jake, who helped me with the move. We're taking it slow, and he's been incredibly understanding about my trust issues. It feels good to be with someone who values honesty. For anyone in a similar situation, don't let fear of cultural shame keep you trapped. The temporary embarrassment of divorce is nothing compared to the lifetime of pain staying would have caused. Thanks for all the support, Reddit. You helped me find the strength to choose myself over cultural expectations. Edit, for those asking, yes, I documented everything and kept copies of all evidence in multiple secure locations. And yes, I did warn his new fiancée. Whether she believes it or not is her choice to make.